It is the Flow Friday Sports Show, and it's time to review all things Sunraysia Netball with finals very much on the horizon. And I'm joined now by the head Kanga Caitlin Vine. Great to have you on, Caitlin. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a very exciting time of year.
It sure is. Now, Owen United, obviously plenty to be excited about with the finals coming up, but I don't think too many people would have been too thrilled with how things went on the weekend, Caitlin. A loss at home to Mildura. So just bring us up to speed on why this loss occurred for the Owen United club.
Yeah, so the final score was 43-35 Mildura's way, so an 8-point difference. I believe the last time we played them in Mildura, it was also an 8-point loss. So I guess at least we're consistent. Mildura came out firing. They were very tough. Their defenders were completely just relentless, and their goalers were accurate. So they were a force to be reckoned with from the start. We did get quite close to them, I think, within 2 or 3 goals some point throughout the game, but just kind of dragged off towards the end there. Still a really good fight, a very intense game. It certainly got the crowd fired up as well as both teams. Our goalies just unfortunately weren't as accurate as we wanted them to be. We had Casey Crothers come from defence into goals and sort of back and forth, which, you know, made some really big differences with her height and her strength, but also obviously unsettled the team a little bit. But otherwise, we're really happy with how the game went. I mean, Mildura are the second team. They are a very strong team. So we're still really happy with how we played. We played a strong team game, and that set us up well looking into next week.
Yeah, certainly nothing to be too concerned about. They obviously are ahead of you on the table, and you had to go to their patch as well. But obviously you'd want sort of a stronger result going into that first week of finals. But before we get into the really unpacking the previous round of action, just bring us up to speed on how the club performed generally across the weekend, Caitlin.
Yeah, so it was a really important week for the Kangas. We had a couple of teams that had to win to make finals, and they did, which was really exciting. Our B grade came out firing. We had a couple of people away and a couple of injuries, so our A grade side did help out a little bit, but unfortunately that also caused a few injuries. I think Alan Morris had played a full game in A grade, which was a thrilling full game, and then came on in the B grade and ended up with a cramped calf, which shows how hard she was going. So we did have a few changes within the team, but our defence was really strong and our shooters were consistent. So we ended up winning quite comfortably. I think it was 45-29 against that team. So we're stoked. Last time we played them, we only won by 1 goal. So that was a fantastic win for the B grade moving into finals and solidifying our spot in 4th position. And our 15-2s also had a really comfortable win, which solidified their 4th position to go into finals as well. So lots of excitement. The rest of our club just had a really fun day. Not as many wins as we would have hoped, but Mildura are really strong. But everyone just had a really fun day, and we finished it off with the football netball ball, which was a lot of fun.
Great work, and that is the Owen United Kangas netball report from Caitlin Vine. We'll take a look at the other fixtures that happened across Sunraysia Netball, and on paper, Caitlin, Irimpulse going down at home to Redcliffs appears to be a pretty surprising result.
Yeah, this is very surprising. Redcliffs has obviously found a second win very late in the season. We never know what teams had to go through in that instance. Irimpulse have become quite a young side and lost that experience through injury. So I'm not sure how the game exactly played out, but that's a fantastic win for Redcliffe, considering they're, I think, down the bottom of the ladder, and Irimpulse, not far off the top end. So that's a fantastic win for Redcliffe.
Merbein being overrun by South Mildura. This was a very close game in the end, 49-51, South Mildura winning. This is a team that you'll be playing in finals, Caitlin, so probably not the result you would have wanted, I'd say.
Well, yes and no. I mean, Merbein, again, are quite low in the ladder. So for them to only go down by a couple of goals against South, who are in that 4th position, that's a pretty good effort for Merbein. I think that shows that we could be really competitive against South as we look to play them on the weekend. So really a great effort from Merbein, and we'll be happy to face that South team coming into the weekend.
Yeah, you just never know, do you, in terms of whether it's better to play a side that's in form or out of form. You don't want to poke the bear, but at the same time, you don't want to come up against a side that's enjoying good form. So it'll be an interesting game, but you got a pretty good record against South Mildura, Caitlin, so I'm sure you'll be pretty confident about that game, which we'll talk about later on. So Wentworth, they hosted Robinvale, Euston, and this was only ever going to go one way. A pretty strong performance and result in the end for Wentworth, but it was to be expected.
Absolutely. 77-32. That's a whopping score and a whopping win from Wentworth. That just solidifies their perfect record. They haven't lost a game for the season, so they sit in that top position as we head into finals, and no surprises there. Robinvale, still a fantastic effort to get 32 against the top team when they unfortunately haven't been as successful as they would have liked to have been throughout the season. But yeah, as I said, no surprises there. And our Imperials had the bye, so that would have been a nice rest for them.
Yeah, we'll take a quick look at the table, Caitlin. So Wentworth obviously finishing first. We all knew that was sort of going to happen. Just sort of give us your view on how the table finished as we look ahead to the finals, which commence on Saturday.
Yeah, so obviously Wentworth unstoppable on the top, 16 games, 16 wins. Mildura comfortably second, only having lost to Wentworth. So they've won 14 and lost 2. Our girls, the Owen girls, are sitting nicely in that third position, having won 11 games and lost 4, with a draw in the middle there. And South Mildura sitting in fourth position. As we look further down, the results finished with Imperials in 5th, Irimpulse in 6th, the Merbein 7th, Redcliffe 8th, and Robinvale 9th. And it was still pretty close between those teams in the lower 9. So a fantastic effort. It's been a whirlwind of a season with so many unexpected twists and turns with team changes and things. So it really has been surprising and exciting going into each and every week, not really knowing what team is going to show up. So looking at that top 4, we know that Wentworth are going to verse Mildura this Saturday, which I think a few of us are going to head up to watch because I think it'll be a fantastic game to watch. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what the scores have been between these two teams in the past, but I think Wentworth have still won quite comfortably. So that will be a really interesting game to see who goes straight into the granny and who tips back into the prelim. And then Oyen versus South Mildura on Sunday is going to be a cracker of a game. We've had an unfortunate event at training this week, which has seen our star goal attack Taylor injured. We're not quite sure at this point what that injury is and how bad it is. So our team might look a little bit different going in to play South Mildura, but when we played them recently, we had a lot of players out and brought up some C-grade girls who really stepped up to the plate. So, if we can bring those girls back into the side to help us out against South Mildura, I think we'll still be really competitive and hopefully have a win.
There we have it. We'll just repeat those fixtures. So on Saturday, we've got Wentworth up against Mildura. That's at Merbein. And then on Sunday, Owen United, your club, Caitlin, hosting South Mildura. And that's being played at Redcliffe's venue. Just because I've only come on board this year, Caitlin, is this the first time in 2 years that we've got finals again?
Yeah, it is. So we've had sort of 2 years off. So in 2019, our A grade and B grade won the premiership. So I guess you could say we've been the reigning premiers since 2019, as we haven't had a full season in 2020 and 2021. So this is our first finals again. It's kind of a surreal feeling. It's very exciting to have our A grade and B grade back in to the finals. It's really exciting, and hopefully we can push hard and become the premiers again. But, we've got a lot of work to do before then. It's also the first year in our club's history since we joined the SFNL that we've had a junior team in finals with our 15-2. So that's super exciting. These girls, as I've mentioned before, are a younger group of girls. They're actually sort of from the 13s age group, and because of our numbers we pushed them up to the 15-2s, gave them a tough challenge, and getting into finals is is a fantastic achievement for those girls, which means that their netball is going to continue to get better and better, regardless of their result on Sunday.
You must be absolutely itching to get out there. Caitlin Vine, the head Kanga from Owen United. It's been great having you again. You do fantastic work for us, Caitlin. All the best on Sunday for your big game against South Mildura. Look forward to hearing how it all goes next week. Thanks so much for joining us on the Flow Friday Sports Show.
Thank you so much. Hopefully we can get lots of support. Go Kangas.